All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Tuesday. Post Traders Talk, as always, this Tuesday here, this August 8th. Great to see Ryan and Ravina still with us here, and great to have all of our members rejoining us perhaps inside the Cyber Group room. We had Thomas just before, Brandy, Ira, Kevin, Mark, Patrick. We had Charles just a moment ago, Lawrence and Michael. Great to see you guys there too. Perfect. And if you're joining us back on social, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, the works, as I like to say here, welcome on back at the same time. So, folks, hey, market's been kind of grinding on up here across the afternoon. Honestly, pretty slow, pretty lackluster markets. But, hey, hopefully the markets keep pushing up, recovering, find us a nice stock that can move with it. With that said, as we're talking live right now, as we're speaking, Tilray finally just cracked over this huge iceberg order. Like right now, I saw that big volume spike come in. This just broke through this big 700, near 800,000, and probably more than that at this point with market prints that could have came in. But right off of 296, 297, I'll bring Bookmap up in just a moment. Actually, it looks like just a bunch at 95 and onward, including what appears to be a lot of purple there, but just really, when you see all of that volume on the ask at 295 and then at 296, and it breaks over it, well, we're calling that buying. So honestly, that could be a glitch on the tape, seeing the purple there. Just to say, we had a big 800 or 750 plus thousand share iceberg that was just out there on the tape a moment ago, or on the order book, I should rather say. It was out there since 1:05 Eastern time, roughly. So it pinned it down, ended up kind of playing ping pong between these two iceberg orders here at 282, bounced, ended up moving back on up to the one at 95 here, and then just blasted right over it. So, hey, if you were with us earlier in our Traders Talk workshop, you went through the whole explanation with me as to why I thought there was a chance for the pot stocks, Tilray in particular, to make more of a cyclical run, looking back on the long-term charts there. But, hey, definitely just as a day trade heading into this close, looks as good as any stock we could find here. So let me ask one last time for all of us here in the chat board, did anyone jump in on this Tilray trade from earlier or just from like a little while ago at that 282 price? If you're in that trade or in it right now, just let me know. Let me chat back here. If you're not in, that does not mean to just jump right in now. But with that said, it blasted over such big resistance at 95 there. You know that your next one is up top at 3, just a few pennies away, $3. If it breaks that, then definitely we have a nice game here to work with. So, Tilray, we'll see if this can push higher. The top of the gainer side really is just a bunch of cheap stocks here. So like 82-cent Buru, that was a bust from earlier this morning. INFI, VVOS, we're not really going to look at those, honestly. We'll just kind of sift through, though, otherwise see what else we can get. So, like, for instance, BRSH, I did not see this until right now. Maybe Richard called it out just before I stepped away from my desk just for a brief moment. Nope. I mean, hey, it's fine. Hopefully a lot more left on this trade here. Made its first pop at 2 o'clock. So from there is probably low volume, dumped back down. And nice to see a higher high. Now, the issue on this trade is what you're going to see on the right side of my platform here. Looking at level 3, it's just on a bad spread. Very thin volume out there on the order book. Reminded me a lot like the stock Drug from earlier today, right? And look what happened to that thing. So, I like the afternoon pop. Hopefully more eyes can catch on to this BRSH trade. I'll put it on our list for sure right now. Just, hopefully the order book fills in there. Tilray, definitely on the top of our watch list. TLRY, it's like the prototypical level 1 or 2 stock right now. Really any one of us could have and perhaps should have jumped in this earlier in the morning when we were calling it out off at 250. There are plenty of other stocks out there from the morning that ran those. So if you didn't make your money on Tilray, then I hope that you made your money elsewhere, just on different trades that we had. The Gorilla stock that we had before, not shown just earlier, but Mara, sideless stock, that's at the high of the day right now. So there are other moves out there that we could have capitalized on, or could look to capitalize on here soon. CRDF, this one ended up just popping before, but looks like it kind of died off. I'm going to write this down just for the side list, come back to it just if we need to. The Gorilla trade, we'll come back to this since it ended up popping pretty nicely in the morning session. I ended up walking away with like 7 or 8 cent profit on this. And then, of course, the second I get out, the thing popped back on up. I wasted a little unrealized profit, figured, okay, let's lock up the last part of it, about 7 or 8 cent profit. Of course, the second I get out, it ended up pushing up more and more and more. So, I didn't want to jump back in on this trade. It had tougher to read levels. Easy stock in terms of the order book, the spread, the liquidity overall, the price. but it didn't really have too easy to see levels on Bookmap there. So just now, earlier here, just ended up holding off from the VWAP roughly above $2 and has pulled back. It looks like it's really looking to hold under that price for the meantime. So again, another stock I'll just put down on the side here. All right, so now we'll kind of keep it moving here. TDS ended up having a nice pop once again. This thing's been on a roll the last 2 or so weeks. Even dating back to Friday last week, stock ended up popping from 11 up to 15, and here's the higher high today. So with that said, it's at the highs right now. It's hard to ignore this type of trade. I'll put it on our main list. I don't have Bookmap open out for the stock though. So once we finish up this meeting, I'll post a link for Bookmap there. Looking long term, have a couple of dojis maybe there at 1625, 1745. A couple of prices there maybe to watch, but otherwise this thing's been chopping around for a long while here. So not really a long-term level to really keep your eye out there for. If you want to try and base it off of like maybe this year, that's basically right at that 1745 I'd referenced. So, maybe 1745 could be a historical level, but just look out for iceberg orders there up top at 17. All right, BKD. Hey, familiar name, just former runner in the past. Wanted to click on it here. $4.50 stock. So I figured if it was up percentage-wise, there's a chance it could look like this. And it looks good. So I don't mind this here as well. BKD. Potential runner here into the close. Not really trading a whole lot of volume per minute. They're only about 7,000 or 8,000 shares a minute there, but nice trend. Hopefully more eyes can catch on to it. Sabre, stock that we're kind of familiar with. It's a little slow. Weight Watchers ended up popping and dropping from earlier, so we had this on our side list going into the open. Nice move after the opening bell, but for right now we'll pass. Sage, hey, eventually this would make a small little squeeze. I wasn't going to hold my breath waiting for a squeeze today per se, but ended up leading to one right away out the gate. Nice pop. The stock was down 55, 58% yesterday. So, there was a chance to see continuation on the way down before a potential squeeze, but yeah, the little pop at first. It hasn't really broken yesterday's high yet to enable a gap fill truly, but one I'm going to write down also on the side list here. All right, so let's just kind of finish up the gainers here. We'll hop over to the loser side next. Silo from earlier. It's not doing much of anything there. I think that's pretty much it from the gainer side, honestly. VKTX here at last one, familiar name. The stock has been a runner over the last year or so, breaking all-time highs. But let's hop over to the loser side here. Hey, markets haven't gone much of anywhere, so didn't really find too much on the way up. Had a few stocks here and there that we have on our watch list, but see if there's any good shorts. TWKS, ThoughtWorks. Nice little drop right now towards the low of the day. It is easy to borrow on my platform. It does have a decent spread. It is at all-time lows. That I like the most out of all of this. So, as a short opportunity, I don't mind slipping it on the back end of our watch list right now, this TWKS. And really a lot of last week's runners are still pushing downward. So the RGTI had MF I saw just there a moment ago. Beyond Meat, maybe you could short that. That's not at the low of the day even. All right, so I'll tell you what. Let's go to a couple of stocks that we were calling out before this meeting started. We didn't start this meeting off with these trades, but Lucid. We were calling this all out over the last hour or so after Traders Talk had finished up, and a nice grind up here. It's up like 10%, so it's going to be hard to ignore for right now. LCID. When Lucid moves, Rivian moves. And I don't know if we'd called out Rivian just yet in the chat board. I was looking at it just a little earlier on my side. Nah, I didn't call it out, or Rich didn't either. But, it's up a little bit percentage-wise. But Lucid's the better trade. It's the cheaper stock. It's up more percentage-wise. So that I'll probably favor more. Rivian's good sideless stock, though. What else did we get here? NEO, not really doing much of anything now. I know Ravino was looking at Coinbase earlier. Good sideless stock for right now for $88 a share. It's not really doing anything too special. And then from here, what I'm going to do is just kind of zip down Benzinga Pro, looking down their scans here, seeing if there's any new longs or shorts that we could try and find. A few stocks at the highs right now, but want something that's worth our time, showing good momentum right now. And to be transparent, what we have so far, I like Lucid, Tilray. Our hands are full with those two alone. And then we have the others, BRSH, BKD, TDS, and that short on the TWKS trade. Mike says Rivian earnings today. Okay, that's good to know. Great to see Bill here with us. Bill, hope you're feeling well and just wishing the best for your recovery. He says just back from the doctors to check my new pacemaker. So Bill, hope you're feeling well, my friend. Checking YouTube right now. I don't have anything there. And I'll tell you what, folks, when we got the BRSH just ripping and ripping and ripping since we last looked at it here, like I said, we have our hands full. Lucid and Tilray to begin, and then now this thing trying to go much higher. So you know what? I like what we got. Listen, if there's a side list stock that you're trading out there inside our room, keep it to yourself. Honestly, I would stick with what we have right now. Why go elsewhere? This thing's up 70% and flying. Even if it does pull back soon, let's look for support. And then, of course, if you didn't get your hands in on the Tilray trade yet, what are you waiting for? Look at this thing try and push right now up to 3. So if this could break over resistance at 3 right here or soon enough, there could be a really nice trade left from this point. So, hey, for right now, let's stick with what we got here. We'll go down the side list stocks. I doubt I'm going to add these here at this point, but yeah, I mean, out of all of these, maybe the Sage trade because there's a potential gap to fill, but I'm going to pass on it. All right, so folks, hey, I'll tell you what, I'm going to be on a coaching call at 3 o'clock up until 3:30. Rich will be on the mic taking you all the way into the close here for Leda, Lawrence, Michael, Ryan, Ravina, and all of us here just joining us right now. But hey, any questions that you got, feel free to send over a quick private chat. Let me know if there's any questions or trades that you'd want to go over with me on the side. And then again, for all of us on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, the works. I always like to post my email here at the end. Josh@ctutrading.com is the handle. But otherwise, though, if you wanted to join Ravina and Leda and Michael and Lawrence and all of our students there, continue the audio commentary heading into the rest of the day today or this week, just scan that QR code with your phone just as it's popping up on the stream. Of course, if you're Leda, Ravina, etc., you're already there. You don't need to click a link or scan a QR code. But hey, otherwise, scan that QR code on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, etc. If you wanted to join us, we look forward to having you there. But again, Rich will be on the microphone, just taking all of us going into the market close coming up here soon. Talk to you soon.